I don't get as involved with free agency, so I'm not going to spend as much time. We don't spend a lot of money in free agency, as Todd knows. That's why he's always hated the Baltimore Ravens.
He's not lying.
We've never been a free agency team. We're a draft and develop team, so a lot of our resources are going to be acquiring as many draft picks as possible and then using those on players, trying to hit on as many picks as we can, trying to hit on 60% of our draft picks every single year and trying to retain as many of those guys as we can for a second contract.
So that was Eric DeCosta on the Inner Circle podcast. I think that was last week. And an interesting cut because Bone did some digging. And Eric sometimes likes to push narratives and maybe skirt the truth a little bit. But the Ravens, you saw a stat. They do not spend in free agency.
I was stunned at how low the Ravens were since 2020. And that tweet happened because of that cut. There was a person from overthecap.com, which is a great resource that all fans can use with the calculators, and you see all the cap numbers and everything there. But
and you don't have to do math.
No, you don't. It does it for you.
Yes.
Which is very nice.
Very nice.
Ravens since 2020 are 31st in spending since in free agency, $74.3 million. And it's parsed with contracts given out that are $2 million annually or more. So that affects the comp pick formula, which the Ravens really covet. They've only signed 11 free agents that fit that criteria.
And that includes Marcus Williams.
Yes. It does not include Earl Thomas from 2019.
Boy, that was fun.
Bringing this up, this is not to say, the Ravens are cheap, because the Ravens have signed several top-of-the-market contracts to their own players. Lamar Jackson, Ronnie Stanley, Marlon Humphrey, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, Nnamdi Madubuike. It's a lengthy list, but it's what Eric was saying. This is all how they construct their roster. And I looked at the teams in the bottom 10 in free agent money spent, and it includes going from 23 to 32. Rams, Colts, Saints, Chiefs, 49ers, Eagles, Packers, Bucks, Ravens, Cowboys. Those bottom 10, 7 of those 10 have top 10 winning percentages in football in the 5 years. And then conversely, you get to the top 10 most spending in free agency. 7 of those 10 teams have the worst winning percentage over the past 5 years in that list from 1 to 10. Panthers, Jags, Texans, Patriots, Raiders, Jets, Giants, Titans, Dolphins, Vikings. Now, with that all being said, Ken, this is always going to be a draft and develop team. But is this an offseason where we see DeCosta take a swing? And he hasn't taken many.
No.
Earl Thomas in 2019, Marcus Williams.
He likes
in
safeties.
2022. He does love spending money on safeties. It's been more of those value plays, like the Jadeveon Clowneys, the Kyle Van Noys, Ronald Darby.
Yeah.
That all happened in 2023. But someone we've been bringing up a lot, Odafe Oweh.
Yeah.
And Spotrac, their projections, which aren't always exact, but projects Oweh at $19.3 million.
He's going to make real money.
That's an expense there.
Hey, he might not be a top-tier pass rusher, but including the postseason, he got 10 sacks. And when a guy with 10 sacks gets on the open market, he's going to get paid.
Yeah, you get double-digit sacks, you're going to get paid. Even a Khalil Mack, $18.4 million.
He intrigues me.
Exactly. So is this a year where Eric DeCosta breaks tendency? And that's what I've been so interested in seeing, is how different he is going to operate this year, because last year was not his finest 12 months as GM.
Yeah, I'm very interested there. I was telling you this off the air. There is a Twitter school of thought that Eric loves to play games. I think he enjoys it. I kind of enjoy it because I think there's a trying to read between the lines with him. And when he's so far out in front talking about how they don't spend in free agency, talking this offseason, it makes me think this. Now, I'm not saying he's going to sign 6 guys.
No.
But I think that this might be the offseason where they do sign a guy because he's so out front saying we don't spend.
Yeah, this is probably, well, he said it before. This is his favorite season. This is his favorite time of year.
But it's the scouting part of it because he's a scout.
Exactly. But from the end of the season through the draft, you get all those games. And Eric DeCosta, I remember a couple years ago being at the draft luncheon and someone asked him, hey, is the Liars Luncheon, is that an appropriate nickname for this press conference? And he was like, yeah. I think he realizes the mistakes that he made last year. And we're about to play some of his cuts because he met with the media earlier today. Scouting combine, on-field workouts begin Thursday, but coaches and GMs talking today. Talked a lot about the offensive line. He talked a lot about the need for edge. And they're going to have to spend money at those positions. Those are premium positions. So I expect them to go out and make a legit signing or maybe two.
Well, and the other thing that he said, and even Jesse Minter kind of echoed it, they know their trenches have to be better. And their trenches, and I'm talking about offensive and defensive line, they stunk a year ago. And, the draft can help you, but you're going to have to sign probably a dude or two. Like, they need to replace their guards. And, okay, maybe Emory Jones is a guy, but who's playing the other guard? Because I don't think it can be either of the guys that played it a year ago.
And I feel like they need to get back to bringing a mauler, man. Like bringing a guy with some ish to him and some nastiness to him like we've seen in past Ravens offensive lines, especially on the Ravens defensive line. Yeah, both of those areas, you don't see the Ravens get bullied much. And you saw a lot of that in this past year, and that was a big reason why they didn't end up making the playoffs.
It's funny. You saw the NFL has come out and Troy Vincent kind of walked it back, but said there were 5 plays they wish it could have back, and one of them was the Isaiah Likely touchdown. So now they've admitted they made a mistake on the Travis Jones penalty, which changed 3-7.
And they announced that immediately. Yeah,
they've made a mistake on the instant replay overrule of the Teddy Buchanan interception, making it a completion to himself to Aaron Rodgers. And now the Isaiah Likely. That's 3 calls that cost the Ravens in a very close football game.
Yeah,
which could have been the difference of them winning the division.
The Likely play was so ridiculous because prior to that, we never heard of a third step. We never heard of a third move. Third
step. It's 2 steps.
Exactly,
and the play's over because he's standing in the end zone.
Like, what are we talking about?